Welcome to Regulated-ish. Two moms, two cities, one frequency. This is our once a month space to talk about what life actually feels like in the middle of parenting, work, and nervous system overload. This isn't therapy, and it's not a how to show. It's just two real humans noticing what's showing up and trying to be a little kinder to ourselves while we do it. If something here helps you feel less alone or a little more grounded, that's the point.
Are you ready to switch gears and talk
Yeah.
about um, imposter syndrome?
Oh, no, but I will. Oh, yeah, let's do it. I got some opinions, but I'm not going to say them yet.
What?
I mean, I guess we are recording, but like the first time I heard imposter syndrome, I went, I'm not important enough to have something like that. Boom. Oh,
Yeah. And then you're like, oh shit, there it is.
oh yeah, that's classic imposter syndrome right there.
Yeah. But in my head, I was doing, well, I don't have a job that would require that. You know,
I had no business being as successful as I was in my, employment, my career, because I didn't do anything to earn it. And she's like, you worked really hard to get where you were at and do what you're doing at such a high level. You earned every bit of it. I was like, okay, all right, I guess.
It's one of those things where it's like, I hate that it's called a syndrome because it's really not. And it's more of a society thing where we need to teach the next generation that you belong in the rooms, that you work just as hard as anybody else. But if we don't call it that, then people don't catch it. So,
yeah, like it needs better marketing, kind of.
Yeah, it is. Like if you say it's a syndrome, all of a sudden people are like, oh, yeah, I see it. It's important now.
Right. It's almost like it does need to be called something different so that people can apply it more readily to themselves so that like you can identify it within yourself and not require somebody else to point it out to you.
Yes. And then that way it can make more sense in your brain. And then you can validate it easier compared to just saying what we did in the 90s and early 2000s was, you just didn't feel like you fit in. You felt everybody else was smarter than you. You were tricky.
Yeah. Right, exactly. It's like I've conned you enough that you would think that I belong here, even though I don't feel that I do. But it's too late. I'm already here. I'm going to have to like keep up with this farce. I was just looking through my notes. I know I've written down a bunch about this topic because this is one of the things that we talk about frequently with my therapist.
Oh no, I talk about it all the time with my therapist, with being a therapist, because I'm dyslexic and my ADHD and my speech impediment, I am constantly doubting my intelligence. And I don't think I'm a dumbass. There's nothing like that. It's not like super negative. It's just, I don't always feel that I belong, at a certain level, or I should be called like an expert in different things, or when I'm asked to be in podcast or present things, I'm always like, where do you want me to?
Like it almost somehow undermines your credibility because you've got like one of those little, very small things that you actively work on and you own. It's not something that you try and hide, but
but I'll have $100 word in my head, but I can't pull it out. I can describe it to you and give you the definition, but I can't say the word. So I got to use like a penny word. And then it makes you like question whether or not you should be presenting or having that conversation, right?
When in reality, with reality, it will be easier for you. It won't be easier, but it would be better for you if you viewed it as you are displaying more readily what all those people are fighting with. They're like, oh, these are things that are bringing me down. I need to get better at these things. And here you are, the credible expert, having the same,
issues.
word catch or the, mispronunciation of something where I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think the fact that I'm displaying what you're suffering with should make you feel better about, your struggles with the same thing, because it doesn't lessen you. It doesn't make you any less credible or worthy of being there. It's just a different view, like shifting your viewpoint towards it is one thing that I'm working towards. A lot of my catches. It's
reframing it.
Yes, exactly. Like I could look at it negatively, or I could just twist it a little bit and look at it as like, oh, this is beneficial for somebody else to see me having the same struggle as they are. So that way they won't be so down on themselves about it, because clearly I'm owning it and I'm the shit.
It's hard in those moments though, even as a therapist.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, I don't mind telling people I'm dyslexic. I don't mind telling clients I have ADHD. Like, none of this bothers me. I had speech as a kiddo forever. That doesn't bother me. I don't mind sharing those things. And so those things I can totally own and share and, hope that it helps other people. But then for me, I can't take the next step of saying, and this is why I'm good at it, or this is why I understand it better.
Right.
And I don't know what the block is, but it's really weird that like people, like you have these expectations for yourself that you will never meet. And yet you'll tell people not to do that to themselves.
It's like kind of like it's okay for you. Like I want you to succeed. I want everything for you, but not me. And I think that land back onto the imposter syndrome that we started this little bit on is like, why not for you though? And somebody else will tell you that. I'll tell you that. Your therapist will tell you that. And you're like, well, I don't know. I don't know if it almost feels like it's egotistical on some level for you to feel successful or feel like you belong, or like,
it's like you're getting too big of a head.
Right. Like who does Megan think she is, like right now with all this? And it kind of harkens back to the meek shall inherit the earth, but I don't want to be meek anymore.
No, I don't.
I'm tired of being meek.
Yeah. I am tired of it. It's annoying as hell, but it's hard to get out of the pattern.
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to relearn.
Yes, and it's hard to like recognize when it's time to step up sometimes and when it's time to maybe let the other person, and that you're just so told for so long as a female, especially growing up in the 80s and 90s, that you have to stay in your lane, or, don't interrupt the people who know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I think for one of the first nails in my coffin of deciding I needed to find a new place of employment was I was sitting down with the director of our department, and I was rightfully upset about something. And I was maybe at a 3 out of 10. Like I wasn't that upset, but I was making it known that I was rightfully upset. And he told me to calm down. He's like, calm down. I says, excuse me, in the history of your life, has it ever gone well for you to tell a woman to calm down? He's like, no. I says, well, now it's not any different.
No. And it's so disrespectful.
It's absolutely disrespectful. And it's even so much as a person, like, forget that I'm your employee right now, but like somebody is upset about something that you said, no, you're rightfully upset, but then you're telling me to calm down. Like, that's a no for me, dog. And I was so very proud of myself in the moment that I didn't like blow my top, but I pointed out to him, it's like, has that ever worked? Like in a history of like any relationship, would you tell Amanda to calm down right now? Or would you like support him? And, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is not acceptable, this and that. Like you'd be supporting me if I had a set of balls. So like, why is it any different? No.
Yeah, no.
And that was the first me going, I need to get out of here because this is how things are being handled, that I don't want to be a part of it. But I didn't know how to be done because I didn't know where to go from there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm here because I've been here for so long. So that's where I'm on this tier that I'm at. Like, I can't expect to walk into somewhere else and go, oh, hey, I've got no training doing anything, but I'm good at this. So let's figure out else what I'm good at. Like, where am I going to go from here? So I just stayed in a place where it's like, this is not a really great place. It's not great for you. It's not great for your mental health. It's not great for your physical health either. But what else are you going to do? So you're just going to stay in it. It was like a very outward case of Stockholm syndrome. And what was even worse was I knew it at the time. It's like, I know what's happening, but I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to keep it on.
Well, but we're not taught what to do. And we don't even talk about that. Like the importance of having a job that isn't like sucking you dry.
Just sucking the life out of you. Yeah.
Yes. And what to do if you're in that situation and how to make moves and how to take all your skills and be able to articulate it to a different job.
And
or
apply
that
it
it's a possibility.
effectively. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we don't talk about that. It's still that
No.
mentality of you just deal with the manager or the boss, and it doesn't matter if they're a jerk or sexist or racist or whatever. You just stick with it because that's what you're supposed to do for loyalty. And that world just does not exist anymore.
No, because they'll push you right at the door when it suits them, but they're going to expect you to stay even though it doesn't suit you. And that's kind of what happened. And I was just like, okay, cool. Now what?
It just, for me, I could understand like our parents' generation doing that and my grandparents because they got a pension. Every year they got a raise. So there were like incentives and guarantees and reasons to be loyal and stay. That doesn't happen. Nobody I know has a pension, and 401ks don't work. You have a pension, good. We should have more.
Yeah, and it's vested. So I have to wait till I'm 55 to start collecting it. So I mean, being that I'm only 29 years old, I got a while.
But that's great. You have that.
Yeah.
It's just not many people do, and it's not the world we're in anymore. And so why am I giving loyalty to a company or like with the imposter syndrome? Why am I worried I don't belong in these rooms when half of them don't? And they're also not making it for me to want to prove myself and stay here.
But yeah, there was a conversation that was being had about a new hire. But, millennials don't stick around in jobs for very long anymore. So don't get too attached because they'll probably just leave in 3 to 5 years. And everyone's like, oh, that's terrible. And I went, no, why stay if you're not enjoying it? Like you can enjoy the job, but not enjoy where you're at. That's where I was at. I was like, well, good. I mean, why just stay because it's here? Yes. So like that person did stay 2.5 years and then found a position doing the same thing at another location and loves it. I was like, that's great. I still talk to her and she has tried once or twice to get me to come with her. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that job anymore. Sorry, no. I would come work with you in a heartbeat, but I'm not doing that job anymore.
Yeah, no. I'm glad you're not. It's so stressful on your system.
I feel like a different person. Like, it just feels like recently that switch happened where I feel like I'm like, you know what? I am happier. I'm more comfortable. I've got less health issues happening right now. It's just like I needed to be gone. But because I had that loyalty, I didn't want to leave.
No, and then with the imposter syndrome, you're assuming that you can't because you're not qualified to do anything else.
Right. Like, where else could I go and take this skill set? And there's any number of places. Because it's kind of like, it's like a niche sort of skill set that I have, but because it's so niche, there's a lack of them. So I could have picked up and gone lots of other different places, but I chose not to because I was like, I needed a change. I was aware I needed a change. And now I've got the change that I need. So let's figure out what I'm doing.
No, but that's good. You gave yourself time to like grieve from the burnout.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris sent me a job, or he sent me one of the school secretaries is retiring. He's like, it's our time to get in there and go be Miss Nancy. I was like, I don't think I want to work full time anymore. That's just not what I want to be doing. My little part-time gig I've got as a caregiver, I would like another day or two to do that. But I don't, there's just not a schedule for it right now. So I'm not looking to pick up another, I guess, she's a client. Like, I'm not looking to find another house or a person to care for, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I like that I'm able to dedicate more time to my house and my family, because I feel like my kids like didn't get a good mom for their toddlerhood because I was always so stressed and worried and working all the time. It was easily 60 hours a week.
That's how I felt.
I wasn't here enough. So I'm like, I'm glad that I'm here all the time. I'm glad that they're kind of sick of my face because it's new for them too.
No, I could not get out of that rat race of working after school, before school. I was coaching. I just, as long as we lived in Chicago, I would work for Chicago Public Schools and never see my kids.
Yeah. You'll see everybody else's kids, just not yours.
Yeah, I saw all of them. And I had to move. Otherwise, I wasn't going to stop, you know?
It was a hard decision, but the right decision. And that's what you have to like always look at. It's just like, we've made a decision, we're doing it. And then you'll get pushback from other people like, no, don't leave us. You'll be so far away, blah, blah, blah. But look what happened. Like, your family came to you, and that has to mean a lot.
Oh, it does. And it's when you're forced to not live in the same environment, it forces you to ask questions about what you like or don't like that you wouldn't do in your day-to-day, because you don't have time to think that way or ask yourself those questions.
Like, what do I want? What suits me? Because I can make these decisions now. And that's something that you don't get to do when you're being told when to be there, what your jobs are, what you're wearing, and some places.
You're just the next thing, dinner, get them to bed. Is there homework? Okay, wake up, get them ready for school, get them to school, get to work. Who's picking them up? After school care. It's just, never ending.
No, it doesn't. And then it ends up feeling monotonous when it should feel like, love and joy and getting to, do these things. It ends up being just like one more task on your to-do list of like, I get it. It's absolutely like heartbreaking to sort of like think back on how it used to be versus how it is now. Yeah.
I hated the way I was as a mom. And I wasn't a bad mom, so I'm not putting myself down.
Oh, not at all. Oh gosh, no. You just
and
weren't.
I'm trying to not do that, but recognize that the system we're in does not work for working moms. It simply doesn't.
Gosh, no.
And like no working mom could be successful in it.
Absolutely. And it's not that, like you said, you weren't a bad mom, but you weren't the mom that you wanted to be.
No,
and that's where
I couldn't even be me. I didn't have time to breathe.
Yeah, it's I'm everything for everybody else, but I feel like I'm not doing a great job at any of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and I never felt like I was attentive enough, because I was always thinking about the next thing or the next to do or what I didn't get done.
And having to relearn those things is so humbling that it's almost defeatist if you look at it. But then you're like, no, this is an opportunity that I have. This is something that I get to do for myself. So I'm going to have to look at it in the positive mindset of, this is good. It's not the bottom doesn't fall out. Yeah.
And the fact that you did as well as you did is strength, not a negative.
Exactly. And it's I did a really good job at that, but let's see what else I can do a good job at now. But your imposter syndrome kind of goes, but did you really do a good job? Or did you just do an okay enough job? Like, you were okay to keep going. Yeah. So it all ties back to that little, and I'm not even sure where I learned that. So it makes me wonder if everybody feels like that, but there are other people who are just either A, in denial, or B, really good at hiding it.
And I don't know where I learned it either. Because, I mean, my mother was a professor and she was the head of her biology department. So,
right. So you weren't taught out, you weren't taught by the family to stay small and stay quiet. It had to be some big societal campaign that we just didn't see.
I was taught that in school, and I was taught that growing up Catholic to shut up.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Growing up Catholic, yes, by 100%. But I don't, we're products of the same school system. So I don't,
We are.
Everybody has the same education, but they don't have the same experience.
True.
So
very true.
So I'm trying to think back to what we would have been taught. Was it that fifth grade teacher that used to be a nun? Was she the one that really put it into all of us that we were? Was it
Forgot about that?
Ms. Shanahan, did she wreck us all?
Oh, that was a rough year because I had the nuns in CCD Saturday school. And then I went to normal school. And it still was like this undercurrent of something wrong with you, not good enough, be quiet, that you're sinning.
Pay attention, everybody else is doing the right thing and you're off here in La La Land. Those are the things that I remember.
Always told I was daydreaming too much.
Yes, or having the teacher catch you looking out the window and then walk by and just pull all the curtains while they're just staring right at you, which you don't want to go maybe if you were more interesting, I'd be interested. But it was just a matter of that's just where things went. And then one day something lands, you're like, oh. But you don't know how to voice it. You don't know how to tell your parents because your parents are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. Because that was how people parented in the 80s and 90s. And I feel bad saying things like that to my mom. You weren't doing anything wrong because you were working with the information that you had. But now we just have so much more information that it's not even easier for us to handle this thing. It's just we have this burden of knowledge about all these things that we are more aware of these things so that we catch them. Because my sister was she was the definition of a Velcro child before Velcro child was a term. And it was because she had such terrible anxiety from such a young age. But now we would be able to catch it because we're aware of it. Before we just had this kid who needs to be by me all the time. I'm driving me crazy. I'm going to put him in, send him to a babysitter or something like that. And it's just that's not what that child needed. So by you thinking, doing what you knew how to do then, you knew that the kid needed you too much. So maybe get them away from you a little bit will help them. So you did what you did. But it's anytime I have these conversations with my mom, I feel on some level, she thinks I'm blaming her for stuff. And I'm not at all doing that because things are just so different now. And they were different from it was different when you were parenting us from when you were being parented by yours. Things just explore, bloom like a mushroom sometimes. It just comes to a head and then we learn so much more. And it's not you did bad or wrong. And I'm sure we're going to have these same conversations with our kids when they have their own kids. It's just
absolutely. I always tell clients, my patients, that the only benefit of me being a parent who's a therapist is that I can tell my children's therapist the moments where I screwed up. That's it. I can pinpoint it for them.
Right. I do the same thing. I tell mine, I was I'm just worried I'm traumatizing these kids sometimes. And she goes, everybody's going to walk away from childhood with trauma. Again, you cannot be terrified that you're the responsibility. You're going to do it, but it's not you do it on purpose. I was okay, all right, but it's not going to be an easy conversation for her to have with her therapist later because she won't be able to and I know my mom didn't do it on purpose, but she still did it. It doesn't help me any.
It does help for us to have our daughters know that these conversations are okay.
Yes.
It's already a big change.
Yes. And that is, my daughter and I had a big conversation on, I think it was Friday night. It was a big conversation. I was I don't think I could have ever sat down with my mom and said these things. And I've always told her, I was you can say things without worrying about hurting my feelings. It says, I'm not going to be outwardly. I'm not going to have hurt feelings because of your opinions. Your opinions are, yours and all of your feelings are valid. So I don't want her to try to mince words with it. But she always starts with it. And I don't mean any offense by this, but I was like, okay, I can respect what you're saying, but now it's your turn to respect what I'm saying in return to that. So I'm not saying anything to hurt your feelings, but if we're going to open that communication from her, it has to also be from me as well. So it's like, I'm not being mean on purpose. I'm not, trying to put you down, but I need you to be open to it being a two-way street.
Thanks for spending this little pocket of time with us. If anything we talked about stirred something up, just remember, you don't have to rush to fix it. Noticing it, well, that's already work. And if you ever want a few more gentle ways to settle your nervous system, that's what Mind Circuit is here for. Check out my app in Google Play and Apple Store. We'll meet you back here next month.